Hello, I wanted to do an update about the last couple of months because there is a lot that has gone on and I just have not talked about it. Um, but the Bible verse, here I wrote it down, that it reminds me of as we've been going through all of this stuff is that one about consider it pure joy, right, when you face the trials. Because the testing of your faith produces perseverance and then makes you mature or whatever. That has been the verse that I keep hearing or keeps jumping out. I think it was even on the radio this morning. That I keep thinking about during all of this. But I have so many post-it notes. I just wrote down a summary of all the various things that probably started around July, August. Now it's September, so this has been at least 2 full months of this kind of stuff that's been going on. And it has definitely impacted my YouTube because I just have not had the capacity to do my normal routine during all of this. So I'll give you the quick update of what all has gone on. So first, with my health stuff, I was doing all of this stuff extra focused on my health this summer, right? And really doing things very carefully, eating well, focusing on just my health. And then yet, at the exact same time, it was I started to have pain and get worse. I'm at the healthier I'm getting, the worse I'm feeling. What's going on? What's wrong? What's happening? And then I'd have all these various aches and pains and stuff. I'm what is going on? And then I changed approaches, and instead of I focused a little less on supplements and things like this, and I focused more on well, what am I eating? Let's take it just bare bones, only whole foods. If God made it, I can eat it. If God didn't make it, I can't eat it. Just real basic. And yet was still having these issues, and I was I couldn't figure it out, what is going on? And I sometimes procrastinate and put off various if I have to go to the doctor or whatever, because I don't have a ton of time, and also I generally think I'll get better. And my mom always taught us that too. She was see if you're still sick in 2 weeks. If not, if you're still sick, we'll go to the doctor. So I think I just grew up that way, just see if it passes, which is probably not the best attitude to have, because then I'm in pain unnecessarily long. And if I do end up curing myself, whatever was wrong doesn't show up by the time I'm at the doctor, right? So it's that they have a harder time assessing what's going on because I don't go in right away. Regardless. So anyway, so I finally, one night I was just up at night, just in pain, and it motivated me to finally message my doctor, and I asked her, I was can I get some blood tests? Because I thought, well, maybe this is something wrong with my blood pressure med, and it's affecting my liver, right? My kidneys, that area. Can I get some blood tests? I thought I can make it into a nurse appointment and get my blood draw, and of course she's no, she wanted me to come in for the appointment. She always says that. So that's fine. So then I had an appointment set, but I had to wait an incredibly long time before I could even go in and see her because she doesn't have availability. And of course, by the time I go in to see her, I'm feeling better. And in the gap, I had lost 10 pounds and from eating so healthy, or else being so sick, one of the two. And anyway, so then I had this one, but it was so good to have this appointment because so many things came out of it. So I'm gonna move my post-it notes as I talk about these things. Anyway, so I got the blood tests done. Those showed my liver generally fine-ish, but I wasn't having that pain anymore by the time I went in. And then, but interestingly, it showed my kidney function was borderline bad. You know how they have the range of healthy and then good and bad. And this was it was on the one last line it can be to be in the normal range, and then otherwise it was going to be unhealthy. And I was wow, I didn't realize my kidney was still struggling that much. So that was interesting to get that blood test done. Of course, there's no like counseling or treatment or what do you do about how do you improve your kidney health, because it still falls in the normal range, so they ignore it. So I'm working on that myself. Just trying to like really drink a lot of water, not put a lot of stuff in that my kidneys would have to filter out. And then I had also, besides having the liver and kidney pain, I was having pain almost like in my ovary. That's why I couldn't figure out. I was like, is this my ovary, my colon, my liver, my kidney? Like I'm feeling the pains in all the areas. So what's going on? And so then she scheduled a pelvic ultrasound, which is actually a vaginal pelvic ultrasound. And apparently I have uterine fibroids, multiple uterine fibroids. And I was like, that was unexpected. So that was explaining what was, and yet I was so glad to have that test, which randomly was ordered. I was just like, can we get my ovary checked out? Because I'm like, I don't want to have like ovarian cancer in there, you know, like what is causing this pain in that area? Apparently it's the fibroids. And what's interesting about that is I have 0 symptoms from these fibroids that I apparently have multiple of. They didn't tell me how many multiple is. How many and what size are they? I don't know. But when I get, it's like a stabbing pain in my right ovary area. What that is, I believe, is these things when they can naturally just die off and like shrink down and go away. And it causes pain when that happens because it's in essence tissue in your body that's dying. And so, and this had been going on for about a year, but just very sporadically, maybe 5 episodes of the stabbing pain over the course of the year. But I'm glad to get to the bottom of it. I'm glad I don't have to worry that I have got ovarian cancer or something, right? And it's interesting to find out that it's fibroids. And I don't think that I would want to do anything to treat it or anything, because there's so many people that have like so many bad side effects or symptoms, or they have bleeding, or they just have like swelling or just weird things. Which is how they find out they have fibroids. Mine was just we just did a random test that I asked her. I kind of had to push her, like, can I get this? And last thing I thought would have popped up would have been that. And interestingly, that showed up. So now I have a referral to an OBGYN for follow-up for treatment, and I'll ask that OBGYN, like, well, how many are there and how big are they? And then now that we have this baseline, I can tell, are they growing or shrinking, right? I think when I was getting so healthy, the way I was, because a lot of it's like hormonal based, things like this, like progesterone, estrogen, all of that. I think when I was getting so healthy, I was doing something and starting to like kill them off. And that's why I had that pain at that time. Now I could be wrong, but that's interesting. And it also solves this problem because a year or 2 ago, I had like a colonoscopy. And the colonoscopy doctor was like, you should get a scan because something was pushing like on your colon when I'm trying to do the colonoscopy. You should get a scan to find out like what's going on in there. Because he can't see, he can only see inside my colon, right? So I got some scan and they put the dye in me or whatever, and I leave there, and in essence, they're giving me the all clear, you're perfectly fine. At first, they told me I had cervical cysts, and then I freaked out. I was like, what? And then they were like, oh, no, you don't have cervical cysts. You have kidney cysts. I was like, what? Like, and they're like, well, it's benign. Anytime it's not cancer, they don't care. They're like, it's benign. It's normal. You're fine. And they just blow me off. Okay, fine. So then there's no treatment or anything. Now, in retrospect, I had kidney cysts randomly way back when, at that scan that showed up. And now my kidney blood test is showing like, you know, on the fritz, not doing so well. So that's interesting. And I believe that that's from this blood pressure med that I was on, just taking a toll on my body. So what I learned at this doctor appointment was my my blood pressure med was like 50, I don't know, milligrams, I don't know the number, 50 something of one type of blood pressure med, and then it was like 12 something of like a diuretic. And this is why I was like so thirsty all the time, so dehydrated all the time, getting dry eyes, probably hurting my kidney. No matter how much I drank, it was just pushing out all the fluid, and I was just so dehydrated and dry. And I believe this kidney cysts and the toll on my kidney was from this med. Luckily, since going in for this appointment, she has now, I asked her to completely remove the diuretic. I didn't understand that that was an option till this appointment. So we completely removed the diuretic, and then she reduced my actual blood pressure med from the 50 down to 25. So it's she said in essence, that's reducing it by 1/3, because you're getting rid of the diuretic, you're getting rid of the other 25, and now you're just left with this. It's the tiniest little pill ever. You're just having the 25 milligrams, or I don't know what it is, of the actual blood pressure med. And that has been working very fine for me. Like, that's all I need. It's just a sliver, just a barely enough. It's just, I don't need more than that. The other one was way too strong. So that was good to go in for that. And then I will probably not have any sort of treatment for the fibroids, because this is something that your body can get rid of on its own. A lot of people even do like castor oil packs, which is so interesting. I'll totally try the castor oil packs, and they can just shrink them up and like deal with them themselves, you know, or like once you go through menopause, then it's like these things just totally go away. So I'm not somebody who will probably ever need like a hysterectomy or anything like that. Like, I am not having symptoms, thank God. Like, thank God that I wouldn't have even known I had these things. Other than that one stabbing pain that made me feel like I had maybe ovarian cancer, which really I did not have. Hopefully that was the fibroid in that area shrinking up and dying. And that also explains probably what was pushing on my colon during my last colonoscopy. So I'll probably get another pelvic ultrasound a year from now and see, are they growing or are they shrinking? Hopefully they're shrinking. And I'm gonna for sure buy the castor oil and just try various things. And now again, to reframe, like, if I feel that pain, it's probably a good thing. It's probably them dying off. Now, I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things at all. But that was an interesting finding. And then what else? Okay, so then for my heart, because I don't want to be on a lot of meds. And so I'm always a little bit like, you know, my doctor wants to put me on a cholesterol med, and I never want to be on it. And so my grandma has high cholesterol. She's 100. She turns 100 in October. My mom has high cholesterol. She's in her 70s. She's doing fine. Like, we have genetically high cholesterol. So I'm not convinced, and nobody's dying of heart attacks from it. It's just, that's how we are. So, and mine is borderline. Like, it's not super bad. It's just a little bit bad. So, but my doctor, you know, they love medications. So she wants to put me on the med, and I'm always like, no, no, no. But then now, because I was having all these troubles and we had to adjust the blood pressure med, she knows I'll resist being on a cholesterol med. So she offered me, she said, do you want me to just prescribe you the med, or do you want to get this like heart, some sort of scan? I don't know if it's like a calcium, I don't know if it's a CT scan or what it is, but it's some sort of scan where they can look inside your heart and see, are you building up plaque and I guess calcium or whatever in your heart? Like, are you getting close where you would have clogged arteries and have a heart attack or not? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And she's like, insurance doesn't pay. It's going to be $100. I was like, that's fine. I don't care. Give me the test. Like, I didn't realize this was an option. And so that's tomorrow where I go in for that test. And I'm curious to see, how is my heart doing? Like, is it where it's getting clogged up? And I definitely want to get on a very low dose cholesterol med to take care of that. Or is it doing fine and I can stay off that cholesterol med, right? So that we find out tomorrow. And then also my left wrist has been hurting since last winter when I hurt it shoveling either shoveling or throwing something into the garbage or both. Something happened, and it was really bad, and then it's getting better and better and better. Now it's September. It's been 7 months at least, and it's most of the time better, unless I try to like clean all day, or sometimes when I work it will hurt, or doing dishes, or if I move it in a wrong position. It right here, it gets really just cramped up. I have a marker on me, but it gets really just cramped up. I have to kind of like massage it, and like I think it's like a ligament or a tendon or something like that. That just needs probably some physical therapy, muscle strengthening, and stretches. Although it's getting better, it's just not cured. Like when it acts up, it really hurts. It's very painful. It's almost like it locks, and I can't move it all the way up and down. So say like I'm at church and I'm lifting a heavy toddler, right, from a parent. I don't want to be, all of a sudden my hand cramps up and I can't hold the kid. You know, it's like I need to be healthy. So because I haven't been able to fully cure this, and it has been so long, then when I was at the doctor, I just said also, you know, can I get a referral for this wrist thing that's been dragging on forever? So she referred me, and then just Friday, so 2 days ago, they did an MRI on it just to see, because I think they're just trying to get money from the insurance. I don't think it needs an MRI necessarily. I don't think it's anything bones or anything like that, but it also wasn't hurting. It felt perfectly fine the day I had my MRI, so maybe nothing at all is gonna show up. But it is sporadic like that. Well, either it's perfectly fine or else it's excruciating pain. It's one or the other. And so I still need something. Now the orthopedic can't see me for like a month and a half from now. Probably by the time I see the orthopedic and he gives me the results of the MRI, I could be totally cured by then, you know, and that's fine. I'm fine not going to physical therapy, but that is just another thing that we resolved as of that last appointment. The one thing I am a little concerned about is for tomorrow, like I didn't research to see like this scan that they're giving me, is this one of the ones where they put the dye in you or the chemicals in you or whatever it is? Because I don't want anything that's going to hurt my kidneys anymore. So if this scan, if they're going to inject me with something, I might have to pass at the last minute and just blow the $100, because I don't want to, something's going on with my kidneys. And apparently when you get these various scans and they inject you with whatever, like that stuff stays in your kidneys. I don't want to do that. So I might just, if they're going to inject me with something, then I might just get on the low dose cholesterol med for a short time period and kind of be intermittent about it, how I have been in the past. But we'll see. We'll figure that out tomorrow. I don't want to spend time researching it, so I'll just kind of find out while I'm there. That is the health stuff that has been going on. And then I have just very recently kind of slacked and just started like eating not as well again. Having some more like maybe Chipotle or just a little bit of pop. Like yesterday I did an all day declutter and I had like 1 can of Coke. We don't keep pop in the house or anything, but like when I was eating so healthy, I would not have done that. But I've kind of like slacked off a little bit. So I probably should swing back and get back to being ultra healthy again. But I have found myself kind of taking the easy way out sometimes. So that is that. I think that is all health stuff. Then, while all that's going on, the washer broke and the tub broke. So we couldn't wash clothes at home, and we had to go to the laundromat, and we couldn't shower at home, and had to either wash our hair in the sink and bathe in the sink, or I actually joined my health club again so I could shower at the health club. And I was thinking I could fix the tub, because normally I can like stick all the things in there and get all the hair out and make it work. This time I just could not. I could not fix this tub. And then I never want to do I don't normally do like Drano and stuff, because that gets really bad for your pipes. And so just kind of let that sit for a while. We move real slowly when it comes to home improvement, anything, just because it causes me anxiety and I have to like move at a pace I can handle. Plus I'm busy. So we do the workarounds longer than the average Joe would do a workaround. You know, the average Joe would be like on it. Some people are like so fast. Some people handle stuff within like 2 days. That takes me 3 weeks to get through, just because that's just what I can handle. So, and then I probably went to the laundromat like at least three times. And finally what, it was the service repair company that was going to replace my washer. They give you like $500 towards a new one. So they don't totally pay for it all, but they give you $500 towards it. I'm like, okay, well, this is nice. And then, but they won't, when I went to buy it at the store will deliver and install, but they won't install uncorroded pipes. And this is the problem with being like poor and having everything be old, is it's not like you can just like replace something instantaneously. It's like, well, yeah, I gotta replace the washer, and yet now my pipes are too old. They're gonna get here and they're corroded. I can see that it's corroded. It works, but it's corroded. I don't want them to not install it because of that. So then I hired a plumber, and he came out, and I had him fix the corroded pipe. He takes one look at it and says, this isn't corroded. But I still had him fix it anyway, because something was wrong with the pipe, and he was there. So I paid the $250 or whatever for him to replace the pipe. And I don't know if that's a good or bad deal. I don't know, but it wasn't abnormal. I have had plumbers charge me $1,000 for stuff that should cost like $100. So it didn't feel like he was screwing me. It felt normal-ish enough. Anyway, so paid him for that. I did ask him about the tub. To snake it. And I don't honestly think he tried super hard to snake it. I didn't pay attention what he was doing, but he in essence told me to try the Drano, and if that doesn't work, then give him a call and he'll come back and he'll like cut out the bottom pipe area in the basement, whatever the kind of where the thing is that it would be stuck, and that'll be $500. I was like, okay, so we still can't shower yet. We're like halfway. These things are almost fixed, but not all the way fixed. And I've been waiting to do any sort of like bathroom repair stuff, because our bathroom is such a disaster that I really need to get like a home equity loan and just do a complete remodel of the entire bathroom. Like everything is trash in the bathroom. I haven't been able to bathe in my tub for a decade. It's been horrific. And I've always been like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. And at this time, I need to simply get a home equity loan and get a new furnace and get a new bathroom and address these things. I would need them fixed before I were to ever sell. And it's torture living here with some of these things the way that they are. And I can easily get a home equity loan. So we're going to just bite that and just get that handled. So I'm hoping to take care of any plumbing issues in the bathroom once I have that home equity loan, and we just can do all of that all at once. But we need to shower. So we're going to try the Drano. Maybe that would just work, and then everything will be fine. Or I'll have to call the plumber back, and then he'll do something with the pipes and charge me the $500. So that's why I don't think he tried super hard to snake it, but I don't know. Maybe he genuinely couldn't snake the thing. We will see. But I do like this plumber. Some other plumbers I've had are not ideal. This guy is super fun, so I like him. And then what else? Those are all the things. Oh, so then I have to turn in my receipt to the service company and get my $500 for in essence the free washer, which isn't really free. I mean, I think I ended up paying about $700. So, and then the $250 for the plumber. So I probably spent about $450 of my own money, and then they're going to reimburse me the $500. So that replaces about, of the $950 or so that we spent. Then I'll probably hand that $500 straight over to the plumber to fix the tub. But that's fine. However, that all plays out. And then eventually, and then when they installed the washer, they didn't align the bottom of it, so it jiggles if you try to run it. And then also they they reversed the hoses. So when you turn it to wash on cold water, really hot water comes out. And when you turn it to, wash on hot water, then cold water comes out. So I had to call the company and be like, can they come back? And because I couldn't unscrew them myself. It's too tight. And plus I'm like, I paid for this, so they can be the ones to fix it. So he's like, yeah, they'll come out. So now on Tuesday, so in 2 days from now, they'll come out and they'll align the bottom so it doesn't jiggle. You don't have to hold it when you're washing clothes. And then they'll reverse the hoses so that when you set it on cold water actually does come out. So that is going on. And then, meanwhile, I had just been doing a lot of cleaning and organizing. And yesterday I did this all-day declutter from, I think it's called Take Your House Back or Take Your Home Back. Where if you watch like social media, Facebook, YouTube, and you see the decluttering minimalist pros, they have collaborated to create this course called Take Your House Back or something like that. And so then you pay the $100 or whatever, and you sign up and you get the course, and then you get, entrance into the Facebook group. And then they do these like, I don't know, 3-4 times a year, they do these like all day declutters from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., like all day. I have never decluttered for an entire day. So that's what we did yesterday, or I did yesterday. But it's fun. It's like you go through from like say 8 to 8:50 with one of them telling you kind of what to do. And then you have a 10-minute break, and then you go from like 9 to 9:50, in the kitchen or whatever. And they kind of walk you through it, and you're learning their different techniques and different approaches for decluttering, which is different. Like I've sort of learned, like I use the Fly Lady for cleaning, and I have it so ingrained. Like I know the routine, without even listening to her. Like I just have it. We've just incorporated that system into our house so well. But the decluttering piece of that was always a weak area for me. So to find this other coach, really, system to teach you the decluttering skills was fun. It was so much fun. It was exhausting. And then at the end of the day, of course, my wrist, like I was like, I'm in pain. I couldn't function anymore. But it was so fun doing the all-day declutter. And then now I can go on the course and like watch old ones or just do the course as you're supposed to do it. And what I learned yesterday is this house, because our house is so tiny and so old, we don't have spots for anything, right? So and then I can't afford like a lot of like good furniture. So I can't, like everything I buy is like, let me get a $30 shelf because I can't afford a $300 dresser. So stuff is out and invisible more than I would like. Whereas other people's houses, they have closets. My house is so old. We have a teeny tiny little sliver of a closet right by the bathroom. That's it. There's not closets in the bedrooms. Like there's not closets. So you don't, other people's house, you walk in the house and they've got like a coat closet with all their like sports gear, winter gear, shoes, boots, seasonal stuff. All of that stuff in our house is out, invisible. We have a coat rack. We have shoe racks in the living room because there's no closets. And same thing, like in the bedrooms, I have like a clothes rack thing and a dresser, but it's all very visible. Like you can see everything we own because there's no closets anywhere. It's horrific. And I've always struggled with that. Like, oh, this house doesn't have any closets. It doesn't have any closets. Everything is out. And it's not that we have too much stuff. It's just that everything is out. I literally have to look at everything I own. And so finally what they were explaining, they're like, regardless of the size of your house or whatever, like you have to simply only have enough stuff that you can contain. And so what I have noticed is like if our cupboard gets full with say like the pots and pans and we can't, it's just not manageable, it's too full, then now I have a shelf out by the dining room table where we have all the rest of the pots and pans. And it's ugly to see that, it's unpleasant. And what they're kind of explaining is like, look, you gotta just deal with the size of your house. And so in essence, they're like, if all the pots and pans that you use are now out and on that shelf, and you're never opening up the cupboard to get anything out because it's full of crap and you can't use it anyway, then it's time to declutter that cupboard, pull the stuff out of the cupboard, get rid of it, get it out of the house, and then put the stuff that's on the shelf that you do use into the cupboard, and then it's put away. So I'm like, that's interesting. Like it's like, don't focus on the problem, focus on like the deeper problem. Don't focus on the fact that you don't have closets. Focus on the fact that you can actually unclutter, like declutter the cabinet and then move the stuff from the shelf into the cabinet. So that's like a new way of thinking about things. Or like in the, for the mugs, like I had 2 shelves of glasses and mugs. They're like, you only need 1 shelf of glasses and mugs. 1 shelf is plenty. So I got rid of 1 whole shelf of mugs, and then I moved the plates and the bowls, which were out on a shelf, into the cabinets where the second row of mugs used to be. And it was just like helpful. So we ended up decluttering 5 bags of stuff to the thrift store and then 3 bags of garbage out. So 8 bags out of the house. So that was really productive, but along the way you're organizing and cleaning and stuff. So I'm super excited to do that again. But at the same time, it's exhausting. Like today, my eyes were just probably from dust or just it must be from dust, because I was in like this one room with carpet a lot that, like anytime I vacuum in there, I get allergies. So today my eye, like I couldn't put my contacts in because my eyes were just all poofy and red from all the cleaning and organizing we were doing yesterday. So that's the all day declutter. And then today, this is the last thing. Sorry, this is so long. And so then today I had brought my dad to church. Now I had only, every time I had previously wanted to bring him to my church, he would always say no. And so we would go to his church, or I would go to like other little churches. He had always been kind of resistant to going to my church. And then today I did bring him to my church, and he was totally fine with it. And he does have Alzheimer's, and so I'm never quite sure like how much of this is he processing, or is this too hard for him? Like I'm always gauging, because he, I don't want him to trip. Like, is he walking okay? Stuff like that. And but there was this part in the message where the pastor was making some joke, and I'm not going to quote him correctly. I can't remember what he said exactly, but he said something like he was talking about he's talking about optimists and pessimists, and then he was talking about realists. And then he said something like realists have a tendency to make things real bad or something. And it was funny. It was a joke. My dad laughed at that. And I thought, that is like, I'm going to remember that now, right? That he laughed at that joke. Like, it was sweet that he laughed at that, because it shows he's paying attention. He can comprehend. He's hearing it. He's listening, and he gets a joke when he hears a joke, right? So that was sweet. But I'm super glad I got to bring him to that location and have that experience with him today. And then we hung out and we just grilled in the backyard and, put sticks in the yard waste bin and made chicken and rice. And we were probably together about 4 hours. We had breakfast, went to church, and then had lunch, and then I brought him home. So anyway, that was that. So that is all the things that have been going on that have taken all my energy and time, which is why I still have not gotten back to the videos that we were doing the series, the playlist about whatever it was that we were doing, the Beatitudes. It's on my mind. You wouldn't believe how often I think about it, but I just have not been able to get back into that mindset of doing that when I have no clean clothes because we have to go to the laundromat, or I can't shower, haven't showered in days because I have to now wash my hair in the sink or go to the health club, or just these things, and the health appointment, doctor appointment after doctor appointment. All these things were just, there's a lot we were dealing with. But it does feel like things are kind of settling down now and getting into a groove. So I know I've been promising to get back to doing that. But, oh, and then school was starting. School started back up for my daughter. And then my daughter joined the Wednesday nights kid groups. And that was an ordeal. Like the second time, she didn't want to go. And I, in essence, made her, explained, like, this is how it is with church. Sometimes church stuff is hard, and you have to push through. And if you can get over the hurdle, then at the end, you're glad you did, because it's really good. Like, there's something, it's a good sign when something is hard, church related, because if you push through that, there will be something good. And I was teaching her this, and she did not feel good. She had ice cream. She's lactose intolerant, just like me. She shouldn't have been having the ice cream, so she felt bad. She was literally in the bathroom, very uncomfortable. She had come back from her dad's house. She was tired. She legitimately needed sleep. And then, like, she wasn't eating dinner because she didn't feel good. And it was a good enough reason to stay home. But she was throwing attitude and just being kind of whiny, and I wasn't having it. And I made her go. I was like, all of these ways that you're feeling are in essence your own fault. You can do a better job getting sleep. I had told her after school to take a nap. She refused to take a nap. I'm like, it was your choice to not nap. It was your choice to eat the ice cream. It was your choice. Like, these bad things that have happened that are making you feel this way are all your choice. You refused to eat. You refused to nap. You insisted on eating the ice cream, and now you feel like crap. You're going to church anyway. And I made her go, and she was not happy. But I picked her up. So we leave, I'm dropping her off. She's like practically crying as she goes to her Wednesday group. But I picked her up, and she was smiling, happy, and feeling good, and had a good time. So I called it, like, that's how church is. It's starting. I told her, I'm like, this is how the enemy works. And so I'm glad she got to see that for herself, because she knows that she had a good time that night and left feeling happy. So that is awesome. But anyway, sorry to have you sit through this for this long of a video. But those are all the things. And I will talk to you later. Hope you have a good day.